Boom. 2187 versus a 2200. Who stands better and why? Ooh, black because they're winning material. Because this knight has seen better days. Because this king is in trouble. Material is really the big issue, and now this knight is going to land. We're seeing it again. A deadly, deadly fork by a tricky, tricky knight. Ouch town. Discovered check with the fork to follow. That's a problem, isn't it? Okay, white is still playing on here. Ooh. Okay. A full rook and I believe a couple pawns down. Oh, wait a second. There could be a mate. If the king goes to f6, it'd be mate. Oh, man. I think I would have maybe done that. It seemed like so natural to just tuck the king in on f6. That would have been mate, though. Oh, wait a second. Trickiness here. There might be perpetuals. Knight check, knight check. Everybody loves a check. We could have a perpetual. Oh, man. White's getting out of this. Knight e6 to g7 until... for forever. Chekaruski, that is what you call perpetual check land. Perpetual check. Nice way to save that one, huh? Wow. Okay, let's see these guys play one more. Play one more. Play again. Alright, we're seeing one from the top. That was an interesting finish. I was not, I didn't expect that. Okay, here we go. Queen's pawn opening. Alright. Knight f6, e3. So white is going with a tame setup. Looking to most likely get this pawn involved or not. Way to make me sound foolish. Okay, so f4, a Stonewall structure. Staking claim to e5. Okay, so a Stonewall structure. So, sometimes what you could see, if you see your opponent running with this Stonewall structure, d4, e3, f4 structure, you could maybe consider, after b6, bishop a6, exchanging off these light square bishops. You will have to be careful of potential captures and then queen coming out with check on that square, but anyhow, things are moving forward very fast, and white is pressing forward in the center. And now this knight is going to have to find a new home, and actually we're going to have tricky stuff on h7. This is available, e5 with snipping on h7, with knight g5, queen h5 stuff. Who knows what I'm talking about? Or no, the bishop was actually there to guard g5, so it's okay if you don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is wrong. It's just all the wrong stuff. Anyhow, if you don't have f6 available, if you're on the black side and you don't have f6 available to you, if your knight isn't around on f6, there's problems many times on h7. Isn't that just winning a pawn? Bishop takes after the smoke clears. No, it's just a little... This pawn is a bit disjointed. That's what maybe think that white was up a pawn. But material is balanced. Who stands better? I really don't know. This is a #1 priority for black, to make sure that this pawn remains under control. Additionally, f7 has my attention because of the rook indirectly influencing that. You could maybe see the knight one day making use of g5, but not so fast because the bishop is pinning the knight, or the bishop is pinning the bishop. Can't make use of g5. Knight g5, the queen would just take. Okay, so pressure on this pawn, what do you do? Rook takes. This pawn is then hit by every black piece. Is it going to fall, though? I think it would. Rook takes. How do you save this pawn? Might have to insert b4. Okay, so just going with the, I guess, an easier move to maybe calculate, since this knight is just recapturing and hitting the queen. So it also has an eye on d3, so this should have white on their toes a bit right here. Okay, so the queen f5, still observing both of these squares. I guess knight g5 was right around the corner, G6 is what? Okay, it's a flight square, but maybe it's a bit too weakening. The queen running all the way back to B1. I don't understand why she's going to B1. Why is she going there? Oh, it's still to just watch over this square. That was the big fear. Going to C2, you run into discovered tricks. So the queen came all the way back just because of this tricky knight. Don't want to get this knight on D3. It also would then just, as a follow-up, allow the rook to then play on C8. So trying to restrain this knight is the big idea behind queen B1. Okay, the knight is now blockading this pawn. It has F4 and maybe D4. The knight, this knight, I believe, is better placed than the one on F3. Black is the side I think that's doing better. I don't see any more pressure being placed on F7. In the meantime, black has already one rook as a multi-purpose piece, functioning not only along a file, but also this rank, this fourth rank. And, well, how does white make progress? I guess one thing to do is make a flight square. F2 is not the greatest flight square to make use of. And in the meantime, now this knight is much, much better. So after just a couple moves, now I'm actually in favor of who? I'm in favor of white because of this knight being able to make use of not only d6 but also f6 with check. And if the queen could one day get to h6, that's going to be a big, big problem. Not to mention maybe the rook even swings over to h3 and you don't even need the queen's help to maybe converge on h7. But this queen is also very active. I have no... it's very easy to make one slip. Very, very easy. So I don't know. Okay, well, maybe now there's possibilities for rook h3, rook h7. Rook h3 could be met with queen d4. I believe this is a necessity. And the king, I believe, just runs away here. And now there's maybe back rank issues. So this knight move is very timely, hitting the rook and defending against h7. A good battle going on here. Back and forth. How many times have I said I like black and now it's white and black? I can't make up my mind because things are changing very quickly. My assessment is changing as these moves are coming in. So what do you do now? I'm liking black all of a sudden. Definitely liking black. Doubled rooks, a central queen, a very well placed knight. This knight is good, but it's the only good piece, it seems, for white. Additionally, there's some back rank issues for white. If either one of these two pieces leaves, okay, now this is a big problem. That's stripping white of its supporter. There is no more support point on f6, and already there is this threat, I think, of maybe taking on that square with rook here to follow or something. So how to stay active? The queen right here on d4, maintaining control of this diagonal. This knight, however, would be unprotected if the queen does that. Am I missing any other direct stuff? Anything else? Where's the queen going to go? Maybe she could just come back to e7 and stay, string everything together. Looking for coordination at this point. That knight move was really, really good. Really like that. Okay, so offering a queen exchange. Not a bad idea when you are up material. And now 2 pigs, basically, on this second rank. This is covered enough. Could the queen really go to a spot that's going to be disruptive? This pawn is protected on a3. I guess if you're to avoid the queen exchange, you got to go to one of these two. And then what? How could black make further progress? I guess rook e2. Could you really run forward with getting a third piece on this second rank? Okay, that's what we're having. And now I guess the queen has to come over to d1 to avoid the queen exchange. This knight, it seems like it's going to be making use of e4 very soon. I think a timely kick of h5 and then getting a knight to, let's say, the f2 square, going to be a problem. Maybe right now is a good time to gain the tempo on that rook and then kick the knight away. Maybe kick the knight away right away. One of those two. These are my candidate moves. Knight e4, the very forcing moves. Knight e4, tempo on the rook, and also h5. There's 2 different ways you could be attacking this knight. I would go with the h-pawn because it's the less committal move. You push your f-pawn, then you subject the king to checks on the 7th rank. So if anything, the h-pawn. And now there's an issue on g. If the rook comes over, then there's a serious problem in that of knight e4 to f2 with possibilities of the smothered mate. I think, okay, yeah, rook takes, crashing through is quite all right. Hitting the rook. Rook takes, pawn takes knight, pawn takes knight. Oh, that's just missed. This is going to be mate. Rook here. No, that wouldn't work. Rook here, knight takes, rook takes, king here. There's no mate just yet. Rook takes rook's the simplest, and there's not really, unless there's rook takes pawn here, that might be the only try. It might work. That might be the only try. Rook check here, followed by queen here is the mate threat. It's a mate and 2 threat right here. Rook h2, queen g2. Rook takes pawn, I think, is the only try for white. Are they going to see it? Rook takes f7, followed by queen f7, and maybe perpetual. I believe at the very least there's another perpetual. We're going to see perpetual. Wasn't that the first game that we just watched? Or was it perpetual? Are we going to have back-to-back perpetuals here? 30 seconds. Rook takes pawn. That's the only save. Are they just thinking that they're lost and they're going to let their clock tick? Or are they going to get... Oh, rook f2. I think they missed it. Rook takes f7. At the very least would have been perpetual check. The queen just comes back and forth on d7 and d8. Oh, man. Now there's no good solution. No good solution. You're getting mated now. That's going to be a big problem. I'm pretty sure that was just going to be what, perpetual check if the rook would have taken on f7. Not there now. Nothing good happening. Resignation. Black wins. Okay. Good games.